Okay, we are back. So as you can see, we have an X4 sitting on the counter. So Shawn has built it, he's tested it on a Wednesday, he's driven it and raced it on a Sunday.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna get the overall review on the brand new Xray X4. So I'll just hand it right over to you. I mean, I kind of know where this is going with the build quality because it is an Xray, but I have to ask, how was the build?
Like you said, typical Xray quality, really, really good. Manual's excellent. You know, you got all the
Tips, tricks, all the good stuff.
Oops, dropped my little marker out. You know, gluing the chassis of the graphite one, your optional parts in each area, and that even like little things like with the ball cups and that, it's orientate, put the ball cup through on the shiny side of the ball.
Yeah.
And that, so you know, little things like that that really make
the build easy.
Yeah, and the payoff to maintain that high level of performance in the world.
Correct, yeah. So, I mean, I kind of knew that was going. I mean, every Xray build that I've done personally, XB8s, XB4s, XB2s, all of you in the same boat with the T4s and the X4s and all your 8-scale stuff, I kind of knew where it was going.
Yeah.
So, can I take the body off?
For sure, for sure. We'll pull it off. This is kind of sitting race ready. Got running the Gen Z 6000. Lithium high voltage, Hobbywing XR10 stock spec, and then the Hobbywing 21.5 motor, Sanwa radio, and ProTech, what's that, the 160?
160T.
Yeah, 160T or 160 SS, I can't remember which one it was. In there for electronics, a few option parts on mine. I
was gonna say the white belts. That's not factory.
No, that is not factory. Now I got plenty of extra belts. So that's your carbon Kevlar low friction belts, as they call them. They're a little softer.
Okay. So they're just a little bit freer.
Yeah.
Like the rotation of them.
That's the theory behind it. The adjustable body mounts. I put in, because I was having some issues actually on my T4, but it's with these units here with the composite plastic ones, kind of wanted to strip out when I try to set the stops.
Down, right? Yeah.
So I went to the aluminum ones, that way I know it's gonna be good. But honestly, now that they've added this spacer in here underneath, which wasn't on the T421, it just holds the batteries in a lot better, especially on these ones that are the batteries that are through and through.
Yeah, because they have that little recess right here. So they added this little carbon fiber plate underneath the hook for the battery and on top of the chassis.
Yeah,
itself.
and it's made now I have this set way looser, say, as per the instructions for the battery, so it has a little bit of wiggle room, so it doesn't affect the tweak of the car. And I never had it move once.
Or fall out or anything like that.
No issue at all.
I mean, that's the last thing you want is battery falling out.
Yeah, like I never had one come all the way out, but a few times on my 21, it would be kind of hanging out a bit.
Fair.
And then the other obvious ones with the orange parts is the bearing retainers for each of the diffs, which go in the eccentrics. And then on the front, I went to the high strength blades.
Correct. So the orange ones, the HD ones versus the stock.
Which are like basically anything that's in the composites that's orange in the on-road side are their graphite composite.
Versus in the off-road side that I'm more accustomed to.
Yeah,
yeah. Fair enough.
As far as upgrades, that's about it.
So now, what did they upgrade right out of the box? You know, there was stuff we chatted about before throughout the unboxing video that Xray did just flat out upgrade and gave it to you with the purchase price of their kit.
Yeah, so one thing is the aluminum bell cranks, which were on the T421 and 20 and all the T4 platform basically were just a composite. Now they're aluminum.
Yeah, so I mean, that was like a $30 touch.
Yeah, $30, $40.
Yeah, so I mean, that's nice. That's kind of one of the reasons the kits did go up. I mean, what else did they give you out of the box that was an option part? Or was that the biggest?
The other thing is it's kind of inherent to the new suspension design is the ARS, or the active rear tow system.
Right, yeah.
That was an option on the C-Hub car, so the T4 platform. Now it's just standard as part of the rear suspension.
On the new ARS.
On the new
and then the X4. Fair enough.
And so those are the two big ones that kind of jump out to me. Everything else is pretty much new, to be honest, on the car. There isn't a lot that carried over. Like the basically was like around 5% is what they were saying.
Hardware variance.
Yeah, and if
Hard
you
with
like
brakes.
these, you know,
the blades and the
And
stuff that
like-
just doesn't make sense to really
Yeah.
truly upgrade, because I mean it's the typical if it ain't broke don't fix it
Fix
kind of
it,
mentality, and I mean you can only reinvent the wheel so many times before it's just completely irrelevant.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
now let's chat about the performance of the car. What did you find? How were the lap times different from throwing this car down to your T4?
So even after I've had like probably a good 6 or 7 months on my T4.
Yeah, it's been a good while since you got your T4.
Not a super long time, but I mean obviously a lot more than just to
Throw it down on the track. Yeah.
Out of the box between the two, the big difference is now I found they tapped into one of their top racers here in North America, Xray X4. So now you have an actual black carpet setup, which wasn't available. You just had basically the asphalted carpet, which was basically the ETS carpet, so gray carpet set up on the T4. So then you're kind of
struggling to find.
Well, if you were new like I was, luckily I had a great group of guys with the guys down at Sarkar to help me out with getting it there. Lap time wise, out of the box right now I'm with where I was like a week ago on my T4 versus this week on my X4. I was a 10th faster on fast lap.
So I mean that's pretty impressive considering you only have a day and a half on this car, and you have been working with the T4 for quite some time. I mean, 6 months doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're going out, you know, every week, and if not maybe twice every week, I mean that's a lot of laps cut. So I mean that's a pretty impressive throw the car down and go play, right? So a 10th is a 10th.
Yeah.
Right?
The one thing, like as far as the handling characteristics, I noticed it is different between the two cars. This car really transitions left to right.
So really good through like the chicanes
and you know, switchbacks, anything like that. It's like effortless with this car, and it's very easy to be consistent and do that lap after lap, even though it's fast. I don't want to sound cliche, but you know, you look at it and you feel like you're not going that fast, but then you look at the lap times and it is quick.
Fair enough. So now this is a thing that you've kind of pointed me to look at in the grand scheme of things. How's the durability of the car? I know there's a lot of people questioning some of the components on the car comparative to the older cars.
So even on the short period of time I've had on it, I did suffer one failure, and it's kind of a known thing. It's one of the predominant ones you're seeing. If anybody's been following on RC Tech or Facebook or any of those platforms on like the X4 T4 page and that, it was, so there's they call it the ARS arm. So this rear arm at the back, or the steering arm at the front. And what we'll do is we'll open the manual up to give you a better picture of it. So these components here, so it's on this thin side. A lot of guys are finding they'll warp or kind of twist, and some of the guys are blowing them right out, like breaking them.
But you thankfully just bent yours.
I bent on my rear, on my one rear, my left rear bent on me. We were luckily able to kind of squish it back into place, and a little adjustment on the setup station, I was able to get back out and finish the race day.
So you were very fortunate that it was just a bend, not a break.
That's right. But now according to Alex Hagberg and Drew Ellis actually just did a Facebook Live this past Friday. Alex Hagberg is in the US kind of helping out the team with the X4 platform and launching the new X12 for the US Indoor Champs, which are happening this Friday. Anyway, they did the first Live, and the one thing Alex said was they were going to make a steel piece because these are aluminum. But they weren't happy with how much they were weighing, like how much heavier they were.
Yeah.
So what they're doing now is they're actually beefing up this outer section and calling it basically a version
V2.
A V2 version of the part.
So I mean, at least they're addressing it quickly.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll see those out
Next
and
month or
to
two.
market sooner than later. I know some guys that have the resources available to them. I know some guys I've seen have made their own with the good one and made them out of like carbon and stuff like that.
Fair. So really take it to the next level.
We'll see what happens there, both through Xray and the aftermarket. But that, we'll call it, for lack of a better term, a shortcoming of it is being addressed. So it's unfortunate that it might happen to you, but at least it's nice to know that it's quickly being addressed and we're gonna be moving forward from there.
Correct. So now that we've got a grand scheme of the car, what are 5 positives that you really feel now switching from the T4 platform to the X4 platform?
I guess, I mean, for me, one is now it's very similar to all the other cars. So you don't feel like you're driving a little bit older, kind of
Antiquated car
platform.
Fair.
Even though, don't get me wrong, if you're looking for a car, don't hesitate to pick up a T4 platform. It's a great car, especially for a first time. Like, you're just getting it on road, it's so tough.
They're durable, yeah.
It's super durable.
Kind of what you see everyone says. And then you said like you said, the speed on the counteracting, like the left to right, fast turns, things like that.
Yeah, like this is definitely, I can see going forward, this is as a person's skill set, you develop your skill set more, or if you already have a really good skill set and you're looking for something to, maybe you just want to switch cars, or you're looking for a new platform, this is a car that will definitely reward that.
Yeah. I think I like, for me, a pro would be honestly having some upgraded parts out of the box as well.
Yeah, definitely all that. You know, they definitely address the adjustability. Most of these holes you're seeing in the chassis, and some of them you see filled with weights, are for chassis ballast weights. To set it, they have optional parts that actually bolt right on, have provisions to bolt right on to the center motor mount.
Oh, so you get the weight right down the middle of the car.
To keep all that weight low and centralized. You know, it does show that, you know, there was a lot of time being put into the development of this car and trying to look at every way to make it better.
Yeah, and keeping weight to the bottom part of the car and keeping it centralized is super easy, because now you're not trying to add weight to the farthest outside of the center line of the chassis, and now you don't have to do it evenly left to right.
I know some of the other guys that are more experienced in the on-road and have other manufacturers' cars. One thing, when they were looking it over, they were really blown away with how low they were able to keep the shock package, still using conventional shocks. Yeah. Yet keeping them so low to keep that weight down.
And
low.
These are the same shocks as the T4, correct?
These of the T421. So these are the ULP, or the ultra low profile.
Gotcha.
I believe on the 20 car it was the SLP, so standard, like, or standard profile or whatever. They're slightly longer, but the ULP is what is for X-rays kind of become the standard.
Okay, so now we've talked about the pros. We got to talk about the cons. Right. Well, what do you think is a con right now of this particular car? I mean, I would say the durability factor just on the ARS stuff.
The question, I'd say the questionability of it.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest, you can't really totally fault in the first year of the car.
Yeah.
They had a lot of years with the T4 platform, so. You know, that
they
car
had it
was
pretty much
really
mastered.
sorted.
Yeah.
Even the top team guys are saying how they're still sorting this car out in some ways and kind of finding new things that are working even better. So as far as the con, yeah, definitely the durability in that. I think the other con from just as a consumer, price. I mean, it goes hand in hand. That, you know, a lot of cars are in the same price point. But it's definitely up there. Some of the parts, you know, like for just to have spares, each of the lower arms is specific to each corner of the car. So to have, you know, you can't just have like one arm and it does both left or right front. You know, it's a left right, or a left front, right front,
right rear. Yeah.
At least the uppers are kitty corner, so front left and right rear are the same, and vice versa. So that's not so bad, but you know, some of those little things, I mean, I'm kind of nitpicking, but
it kind of does force you though to carry a little bit more parts than you would kind of T4 platform possibly.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, there always is a huge asterisk to that, right? You could go out and break one every single time you hit the track, depending on how your track is for speed, corners, and what you hit, right? Versus a person maybe like yourself that, you know, hasn't experienced an issue with those.
Yeah.
Just all on a track-to-track basis, driver basis, stuff like that.
For
right?
sure. Like, I think that's the thing. Like, I'm pretty fortunate in the fact that the track that I run on is the the barricades and everything else are pretty easy on a car.
It's not like quick track. Or
Yeah, it's
something
not.
like the
It's
more...
not just your standard 2x4 boards, or like you said, quick track
Yeah.
that are, you know, you clip that at speed, and it's like, well, now, well, there goes those, you know, that corner of the car is gone, you know, type of thing, which is, you know, yeah, and that could be for any manufacturer, not just specific to this car.
Yeah.
But pros-wise, I think it's the support is exceptional. Their website, you know, they have tons of setups on the website, the Xray website. Their team drivers are very open to being contacted, but they're all on Facebook, and that you can contact them directly through Messenger. You can go through Alex Hagler, really quick. You know, you just look those guys up. Now, don't expect an immediate response, like, you know, you just talk to your mom and dad and they're going to call you or get right back to you, or your girlfriend or wife.
You are talking.
But they will get back to you. You know, keep in mind they're probably getting a lot of people contacting them.
Yeah.
They will, you know, they do openly say, like, if you have questions, contact us.
Yeah.
So that's really good. Other just simple little stuff. I like how easily the spur gear in that is so much more accessible now.
Yeah, you don't have to
compared
take the top deck off and other things like that.
The T4 platform.
Yeah.
You know, coming from off-road where I'm used to, like, you know, you pull the body off and there it is, you know. type
Yeah.
of thing. So this is more familiar to me, but you know, I'm looking forward to running it some more.
And getting a little bit more
time
acquainted
on
with it,
Yeah,
right? Because I
more
mean,
time on it.
like you said, a day and a half isn't a long time to get it tuned up, ready to go for your particular driving style. But just as a wrap up, what would you give it out of 10? We're going to start doing a scoring system. I know it's hard for you because you are a sponsor driver and you have to promote it.
Yeah.
But I mean, talking about kind of the shortcomings of the kit,
I
as
think-
we talk about
I think
right
as an
now.
overall, I'd give it an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10?
Yeah.
That's fair. I mean, that's a pretty honest review, right?
Try to be as unbiased as I can.
Fair. No, that's fair. I mean, I really like the car. I really like how it looks, how they've done a lot of nice little things to make it a better platform for the end consumer. But what I gathered from talking about with you about on-road and things like that, if the X4 honestly isn't in your budget, do not hesitate. Pick up a T4 19, 20, 21. They're all up for sale right now. They all are great cars. People do have great experiences with them. And like Shawn said, they're very, very robust. And Xray themselves has said they are not dropping part support or availability on those things
I was
either.
just going to say that. They just made, I think just a few
Huge
days
Facebook post about it.
the,
Yeah.
you know, everybody calm their jets. You know, don't start the panic train.
Yeah, of
we are
selling all your
still-
old cars.
Yeah, we're still producing
Yeah.
T4 parts.
So I mean, as a consumer, that would make me feel a lot more comfortable keeping a little bit of an older car. If, you know, 3 X4s aren't in your budget to run mod stock and have a spare parts car sitting
USGT
there.
or BTA or whatever.
Exactly. So I mean, all in all, I really appreciate you bringing in your X4. I'm really interested to see
always
how
glad
it
to
kind
be
of improves for you and
Yeah,
see what the lap
for sure.
times turn into.
And I'm looking forward to my off-road kits getting in here, so we can take a look at some 22 off-road kits.
Yeah, so hopefully some XP4 22s and XP2 22s later on in the next, hopefully, 3 weeks to a month is kind of the time frame we've been
Or less.
roughly given.
Or
But
less.
we'll see what happens. So thank you, Shawn, for coming.
No, thank you
We
for
really
having me.
appreciate it.
And as I said before, if you see me at the track, don't hesitate. You got any questions or anything, whether it's X-ray related or not, you know, come on up. I'll be glad to do my best to give you a hand.
Yeah, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We really do appreciate it. Throw a comment down below if you want any more info on the X4. I can always ask Shawn, and he can give me his honest opinion on it, and hopefully steer in the right direction. So hopefully you have a great day. We really appreciate you tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.